what did they think? Did they see a cow and say, hey, I'm just gonna do this to it, and it'll be some great calcium? Oh, hey.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
Yo! What's poppin', children? All three of you? Yup, today we're ranking every 2021 NBA City jersey. I know these were kind of released a while ago, I'm pretty late on them, but I had school. Alright, starting out with the Spurs. Honestly, it's a pretty cool font, and the stripes are nice and pretty vibrant, which is obviously not very common for the San Antonio Spurs. But outside of the fact that it's very unique for the Spurs, I honestly don't love this jersey. I'm putting it in B tier. I know a lot of people love this jersey and say it's the best jersey out of all 30, but I honestly disagree. Alright, next up is the Milwaukee Bucks. Honestly, I like this jersey. It's pretty basic, but I like the curves in it. Although I do think it looks kind of like a jersey a kid would make and not really an adult. I will say it looks pretty cool with the shorts on, but I'd group it in about the same area as the Spurs, like a B tier. Alright, next one is the Golden State Warriors. Honestly, this is one of my favorites. The 2000s to the 2010 era of the We Believe Warriors, those jerseys are some of my favorite jerseys of all time. I just love the color scheme. This one has, again, a nice font. The lining around the shoulders and the neck area is nice. Stripes going down. The navy blue is clean. I'm putting it in A tier. Alright, next we have my team, the Minnesota Timberwolves. Honestly, I think this is one of the cleanest jerseys out of the group. I love the lining, the green star right in the middle, the stars going down the side. That being said, it is kind of a basic jersey, although I'll definitely probably be getting this. B tier. Alright, next we have the Boston Celtics. Honestly, this is the most boring jersey I've ever seen. I get the concept that it's supposed to look like a banner, like their championship banner. And yeah, it does look like that with the shorts on. But that's a boring concept in and of itself. And people have said this before, and I completely agree. This just looks like a practice jersey, not an NBA jersey. D tier. Orlando Magic jersey. Honestly, I don't love white city jerseys to start with. I think a city jersey should be colorful and vibrant. And I get that this does have obviously some orange on it, and the orange is a nice version of orange. But it's just not enough. I think the Magic's jerseys, the regular jerseys, are honestly super cool. But these, they're okay. I'd say they're average C. Next up is the New Orleans Pelicans jersey. Honestly, it's a very good concept. I like how it's supposed to look like their flag, but in my opinion, it's just not colorful enough. I know I said that about the last jersey, but maybe if they pushed the white down a little less, maybe had the red more dominant on the top and the blue more dominant on the bottom, then it would make more sense. Obviously their jersey doesn't look exactly like that, it's mostly white too, but this is kind of in the same boat as the Celtics jersey. It kind of looks like a practice jersey to me, but it's okay. I'll give it a C tier. And next is the Chicago Bulls jersey. Honestly, this one has a lot of mixed opinions. A lot of fans love it, they think it's really beautiful and ornate. A lot of fans think it's pretty basic or dumb. I'm kind of in the middle. I think it kind of fits that B tier perfectly. It's definitely an above average jersey, but it's not anything super special. I like how the font pops out. The gold font is obviously really nice. The design on the side is pretty cool. Like I said, a perfect B tier. And the Portland Trail Blazers are up. This jersey is pretty nice. This is another one of those jerseys that looks really nice with the shorts. And it has a nice kind of wood looking design on the front of it. The stripes on the side are really pretty cool and vibrant. I like the font. The only thing I don't love about this jersey is the color brown isn't obviously very appealing, and it just doesn't seem like a Trailblazers jersey. Trailblazers jersey are kind of modern with the red stripe across. This just doesn't give me Trailblazer vibes. But other than that, the design is pretty cool, so I'm going to give it a B. Alright, Charlotte Hornets are next. Honestly, this jersey's pretty clean. The teal is a really nice color of teal. The black and the gold fit well with the teal surprisingly. The trim is nice. It looks like a Hornets jersey with the pinstripes, and the color's pretty accurate. Obviously, it means the Charlotte, they mint money, and that's pretty cool. The only thing that I don't really understand this jersey is why does it say Buzz City? I know that's like the Charlotte Hornets like slogan, but that doesn't really fit this jersey. But other than that, I'm putting it in A tier with a chance to move up to S tier. Philadelphia 76ers are up. Honestly, I really like this jersey. The trimming is again pretty nice. The skyline almost, but it's more like of the town, is pretty clean. I like how it's only the white outlines. Obviously they get points for putting in the TTP, which stands for Trust the Process, in the skyline. Although probably Ben Simmons, George Will, and Beatles get traded, and that'll be kind of awkward. But other than that, I like this jersey. I'm putting it in A tier. Alright, the Dallas Mavericks and their Pegasus Wings jerseys are pretty cool. Obviously gold font is a bonus, the wings go on the side and they go almost all the way around, which is really cool. The font is kind of different and I kind of like it. This is probably the only white city jersey that I like. I'm putting it in A tier. Next up is the OKC Thunder jersey. This jersey doesn't have much, but what it does have, I think is pretty cool. The blue design is nice, I like the different uses of different blues. The orange stripe is nice, but if it covered just a little bit more, it'd be nice. Because it only covers a little bit, I'm putting it in C tier. Now we have the New York Knicks jersey. I like the gradient on this, but that's pretty much all they have. The circle around the number in the front could be on any jersey, not just a city jersey, and even that itself is pretty basic. I don't really see how the jersey has anything to do with the city never sleeps. Like, never sleeps obviously means like it's bustling and there's a lot going on, but there isn't a lot going on with this jersey, and that's why I'm putting it in D tier. Alright, the Cleveland Cavaliers are up next, and honestly this one's kind of basic, but it's not a bad jersey. The trimming is multicolored, which is a nice touch, and the main point of the jersey is that the Cleveland is spelled out with multi font letters from different band names, and when it's all together it's pretty cool. And I like the little band stickers on the shorts, but other than that, it's literally just a black jersey. And because it's just like okay, I'm putting it in C tier, like average. Moving on to the Detroit Pistons, this one is kind of like what a few of the others suffer from. It doesn't really feel like a city jersey. This could definitely just be their regular jersey. All it has is just a blue jersey with circle font in the center and then some white stripe thing on the side. Because it's like very basic again, and it doesn't look like a city jersey, but it doesn't look bad, so I'm going to put it in the C tier. Next up is the Houston Rockets. I see what they were going for with this jersey, but it honestly doesn't really work out. The color of blue they chose doesn't really match up with the white and the red, and the concept they chose is like trying to make it look like their city flag. But in my opinion, I think they should have just done like what the Pelicans did and just make it look like their actual flag instead of just use one color. I think it's pretty ugly, so I'm putting it in D tier. Alright, next up we have the Indiana Pacers. I think this one might be my favorite. The blue is like the cleanest color of blue I've ever seen. It matches really well with the yellow. And I think they did best is it looks like an old jersey, but it also looks like a very modern jersey, which is exactly what they were going for. I also love pinstripes, so that's why this is going in S tier for me. Next up we have the Los Angeles Clippers. This is basically just an inverse of the colors they used last year on the same city jersey. And I will say it looks better, but not by much. I like how this year they have colors on the trims instead of just the white. But other than that, it's still kind of a basic jersey. I'm kind of contemplating putting it in B or C tier. I'll put it for C tier for now. Alright, next is the Denver Nuggets. This is supposed to be their last of their skyline jerseys, and I think the color scheme works pretty well here. It's a very vibrant and eye-catching version of red, and I think all the colors mix well together with the white and the orange and different versions of red on the stripes. That being said, I do think this is the worst version of their skyline jerseys, but I don't think it's a bad jersey, so I'm putting it in B tier. Alright, next up is the Los Angeles Lakers. Honestly, this is kind of like what the Oklahoma City suffered from. It doesn't have a lot, but what it does have is pretty cool. It's sort of supposed to honor Elgin Baylor and the Minneapolis Lakers era. And I like the blue font, it looks kind of icy, which is pretty cool, but other than that, it's just their regular jersey with blue font. If they had done this same concept, like a white jersey with blue font, but done a different style of jersey, it would have been a lot cooler. Because it's just their regular jersey with different font, I'm putting it in C tier. And next we have the Brooklyn Nets. This is another one of those jerseys that has very mixed opinions on it. I personally like the design on the side, and I'm a big fan of like small, subtle designs on the main jersey, which this jersey has a pretty cool design on it. But other than that, it is a pretty basic jersey, but I still think it looks pretty cool, so I'm putting it in B tier. Next, we have probably the most controversial jersey out of all of them, the Miami Heat jersey. People either put this in S tier or D tier for every list that I've seen. As you guys can probably tell from this video, I'm a big fan of big, vibrant colors, so you can probably guess that I'm the one who puts it in S tier. I think this is a great way to end their Vice collection, although I do think it might be the worst of the Vice jerseys. My personal favorite is the black one, but this one's still super cool. I like how the font is blue on the pink side and it's pink on the blue side. I just think it's an all-around very vibrant and Miami-esque. Alright, next up is the Sacramento Kings. I like the concept they have here of like combining multiple Kings jerseys throughout the history of their franchise. But when I look at this jersey, I don't see combinations of multiple Kings jerseys. I just see a black jersey with kind of a blue and reddish color scheme. That being said, I do think the jersey looks pretty clean, but it doesn't really have anything to it. I mean, obviously it does have some parts, but not many, so I'm putting it in C tier. And next up is the Toronto Raptors. It's again a clean design, but this is basically the same concept they've been doing for the last 4 years, like Drake's Oboe brand. And this alone is basically the same jersey as last year. That being said, I do think it is better than last year, and obviously it looks pretty good, that's why they did it again. And the shorts look pretty cool, but this is just the jerseys alone, and this jersey itself it's either B or C tier. I'll put it in C tier for now. No, B tier. Alright, next up is the Utah Jazz. This is a pretty cool jersey. I mean, it's the same concept as last year, but they basically just shut off more than half the jersey. I think it's not quite as cool as last year, although I do really like the concept and like the design of the gradient. So I'm going to put it in B tier, but I think their jersey last year was either A or A. Next up is the Washington Wizards. Not only is this a gray jersey, but this is the same jersey as last year. Gray jerseys are always pretty much just a bad idea to start with, and there's almost no creativity here. The design on the side is cool-ish, but other than that it's just a basic jersey, so I'm actually going to put it in D tier. Alright, the next one is the Atlanta Hawks. This one obviously has a very powerful concept, but I'm only ranking this jersey alone. And by itself, it's a pretty cool jersey. I mean, the gold font is nice, the MLK is in a pretty sharp font, which I like. But other than that, it's just basically a kind of a boring version of a grayish black with a gold trimming and a white font. That being said, the color scheme does work well, so I'm going to put it in B tier. Next up is the Memphis Grizzlies. This is a great jersey because it looks like a throwback Grizzlies jersey, but it also honors a musician. You guys heard that I love the subtle design on the main jersey, and this has a pretty cool design on it, as well as a super cool design down the side of it. The font is gold. I like how the back number is a different font color than the name. And because of the sides and the front and the font and all of it, I'm giving this jersey an S tier. Alright, and lastly we have the Phoenix Suns The Valley jersey. This jersey is super cool. A lot of people like it, and for good reason. I like how the valley sunset is pixelated. I think it adds a nice texture to the jersey. Obviously, it's a very vibrant and very like Phoenix, Arizona-esque jersey. The only problem I don't have is that the valley thing doesn't go all the way around. I think that would be just extra cool. But overall, this jersey is definitely an S tier. Alright, and some final changes that could be made. Honestly, I'm pretty satisfied with this jersey. I think I was a bit too harsh on the Spurs jersey. It definitely is pretty cool. I think I'm going to move it up to A tier. I think this Clippers jersey, that could definitely go in B tier, and I think I should switch that to Toronto jersey. And I think the Knicks jersey, honestly, I was really harsh on that one. The gradient is pretty cool, so I'm putting it in C tier to end it. And just one last glance over, I think we're pretty good here. was a great video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. If we can get 2 dislikes on this video, I will throw my second bottle of Gatorade down the trash chute. Bye.